Hey guys! Today I will show you all the characters of Poppy Playtime and their superpower.
Huggy Wuggy. Huggy Wuggy is the main villain in Chapter 1, starting originally as a toy plush created in 1985. As an experiment, Experiment 1170, Huggy was created to be the Playtime Co security guard. Kissy Missy. Following the large release of Huggy Wuggy, Kissy Missy was created as a female recolored counterpart to go alongside him and follow in his successful footsteps, being described as his better half, suggesting they were meant to be partners. She was Experiment 1172. Ron the Dinosaur. Ron the Dinosaur is a Brontosaurus toy released in 1961, being one of Playtime Co's earliest creations. Boogie Bot. Boogie Bot is the latest Playtime Co toy known to release, dropping in 1993, just a couple years before the Hour of Joy in 95, and he shows up in a ton of various different posters throughout the games, playing a generally minor role. Candy Cat. Candy Cat was created in 1979 and is again another relatively minor side character who is used mostly for art and promotion filler, but doesn't really appear much physically in the game. Cat Bee. Cat Bee is another not very well-known character who appears as more of a filler toy throughout Chapter 1, only making a couple of minor appearances here and in future games. The Make a Friend machine. Make a Friend is a weird toy slash machine. I don't know if they even count it as a toy, but it's the machine right before the Huggy chase created by Elliot Ludwig that we power on in Chapter 1 and use to build a Cat Bee toy to unlock the door leading to Huggy Wuggy.
And now, you will see a selection of all your favorite characters. If you are ready, like and subscribe. If not, write your favorite character in the comments. Let's go!
The Prototype. The Prototype is the main villain of the entire game and was one of the earliest experiments 1006, Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime is of course the main title character and what the entire game generally revolves around. She was created in 1950 by the one and only Elliot Ludwig, a family man with a wife and daughter and founder of all of the factory. Mommy Longlegs. Experiment 1222. Mommy Longlegs is the main villain of Chapter 2 and protector of the game station. As a toy, she was created in 1991 with the highly coveted elastic plastic Bunzo Bunny. Bunzo Bunny is the enemy of the first game station test, Musical Memory, where we have to basically play Simon Says in a big room while Bunzo slowly lowers himself down and slams his cymbals to scare us, eventually attacking if he got too low. Mini Huggies. The Mini Huggies are a smaller set of Huggy Wuggies inside of the second game of the game station, Whack a Wuggy, where to test our grab pack reflex skills, we have to smack them before they can come out and attack us. PJ Pugapillar. PJ Pugapillar is the third and last experiment in the game station minigames, being behind Statues, a game where the player in a red light green light style tries to run across the room while the lights are off in the area, but is forced to stop while the lights are on and PJ chases them behind, being meant to test their speed and general awareness around them. Boxy Boo. Experiment 1160, who was the flagship villain for Project Playtime. Poppy Playtime's multiplayer spinoff, where one of three monsters, Huggy, Mommy, or of course Boxy, controlled by a player, would chase down a bunch of survivors trying to collect toy parts and escape. CatNap. Experiment 1188. Outlining his full design process in some ARG logs, most importantly stating he was going to have a gas delivery apparatus affixed to the back of his esophagus, allowing him to automatically spew the red smoke around his mouth as he breathes. Dog Day. Dog Day's bigger body is basically the complete opposite of CatNap. Whereas CatNap was actively working with the Prototype and his cult around Playcare, Dog Day was actually on our side, and therefore he was considered CatNap and the Prototype's enemy. Miss Delight. Miss Delight is the guard of the school area in Playcare, but was originally one of the teachers along with a bunch of her sisters. Riley. Riley was a child implemented into Playcare in August of 1994 after losing her parents to some kind of fire incident, leaving her orphan, leading to us discovering her remains in Chapter 4, Decayed and Long Gone. Yarnaby. Experiment 1166. In the 1970s, a brand new toy, a part of a wildlife conservation campaign, was created named Yarnaby, a soft lion-type animal with thick, long hair meant to be used to protect children while they were sleeping. Pianosaurus. Pianosaurus was a music-based toy themed off of course, a dinosaur, but was also among a whole band of dinosaur-themed music characters who aren't revealed anywhere anywhere in the game. He also had his own jingle and commercial showing off the toy in its full form. As an experiment, he was named Experiment 1163, Doughy the Doughman. Doughy the Doughman originally started as a mascot for a new Playtime Co product named Doughy Dough, released in the late 1950s. For, as mentioned, we first encounter Doughy after he murders Pianosaurs for food and displays super friendly traits to us. The Medic. The Medic is a red version of Boogiebot that we see in Chapter 4 roaming around the safe haven, who was in charge of repairing various different toys, namely Kissy Missy after her attack in Chapter 3's ending. Harley Sawyer. Harley Sawyer / the Doctor was the creator of the Bigger Bodies Initiative. I've already mentioned them a few times in this video. That technically was introduced in Project Playtime as a human, but wasn't seen as an experiment until Chapter 4. Smiling Critter. Bubba Bubbafin, the smart elephant of the group, encouraging the others to be mindful and smart with their choices. Bobby Bearhug, the loving bear, shows kindness and love for everyone. Crafty Corn is a creative unicorn who loves to draw and is a little shy. Kickin' Chicken is the cool, calm, and collected chicken of the group. Dog Day is the positive dog of the group, focused on friendship and being a leader, also being the leader of the Smiling Critters himself. There's Picky Piggy, the pig who focuses on eating healthy. Hoppy Hopscotch, the energetic bunny who loves to be enthusiastic. And then there's CatNap, the cat focused on sleep and making sure everybody gets enough of it. Nightmare Critters. There's Baba Chops, the sheep / lamb, an emo, distant, and quiet loner. Icky Licky, the poisonous frog, a sore loser and poor sport. Raby Baby, the bat, a gossip girl who talked behind people's backs. Alistair Gator, the alligator, a lazy procrastinator. Simon Smoke, the dragon and ego-driven arrogant jerk. Poe the Raven, a goth lover for the dark and like to visit graveyards. Chewie the rat, an annoying overtalker that won't shut up. And Maggie Mako, the shark, an overeater who only liked to eat unhealthy. The Wuggies. The Wuggies are basically a clone of the mini Huggies from Huggy Wuggy, but this time they take place in the feeding pit that, before being removed in Phase 3 of Project Playtime, was the place the monsters would throw the survivors, where they would have to smack them all away. Shoppy. Shoppy is a toy cash register we see in Project Playtime's shop tab at the bottom left, and more recently we also saw bloodied up versions of them in Chapter 4, which, with how much they've been ignoring Project Playtime, it's really interesting they would bring this character back for a little cameo. Ollie. In Chapter 3, we come across a phone ringing that was technically first shown off in Project Playtime here, but isn't activated until this chapter, where we learn the caller was Ollie. Bucky. Bucky is the egg basket that Bunzo carries in his comic book strip the developers released on their Twitter a few months after Project Playtime's release I mentioned earlier, and otherwise they don't appear anywhere in the physical game. Daisy the Flower. Daisy is by far the most interesting rejected toy, since she was originally shown in the Chapter 2 trailer as being the toy in place of Bunzo Bunny at Musical Memory, before quickly being pushed to the side as rejected when the game released. Daddy and Baby Longlegs. Daddy and Baby Longlegs are the other characters in the Longlegs family, among, of course, Mommy Longlegs. These characters are only ever seen in a one-off poster, which was also repurposed for a Mother's Day poster, and a Kick Me Paul. Kick Me Paul is a circular ball-shaped toy that was rejected because nobody liked him, and the employee pitching him was laughed out of the presentation meeting when he was revealed. Love Bug. Love Bug is another super minor toy that we only see a blueprint of on Elliot Ludwig's desk, and like Sunny Buddy, was one of the scrap toys from the game station being put here as a little Easter egg. Pet Stone. The Pet Stone was a reference to the pet rock craze from back in the day, and was rejected because focus groups were confused. Owen the Oven. Owen the Oven was Playtime Co's easy bake oven clone, and is much larger than all the other toys, but unfortunately it obviously got rejected due to multiple cases of children receiving third-degree burns. Surprise Hare. Surprise Hare is very similar. They're just a rabbit shaped like an egg that is scattered throughout the rejected toys room, but doesn't have any other info. Sir Poops a Lot. Sir Poops a Lot, while a super funny toy and name, is based on real-life potty toys or dolls, who, judged from the box, was meant to tell jokes as well, with various super cringy examples. Barrel O Huggies. Moving on to the many rejected toys found in the rejected toys room during Chapter 2. Sunny Buddy. Sunny Buddy is simply a sunflower inside of a pot that appears in the game around the rejected toys room, just laying around, along with a blueprint on how they would be built, but they don't really have any other. Barry. Barry is simply a little minecart with a couple eyes slapped on him, used to break down the wooden barricades in Chapter 2, before making a return in Chapter 4, this time in a beaten up state carrying a body.